Hi, I'm Trish. Welcome to Trish Talks. So today I'm making broccoli rabe and sausage. Quick, easy, and delicious. The longest time is cooking the sausage. So what I've done is that I've heated up just some olive oil, probably about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I am going to brown them and cook them on both sides. In the meantime, while that's going, I'm going to trim and do my broccoli rabe. I have about 4 or 5 bunches of broccoli rabe, or maybe 6. And the reason why I have so many is because we take out a lot of the leaves, and when you do that, you're not left with a lot of broccoli rabe. So, and we're also going to wash it. Okay, so I pretty much don't even take it out of, I don't undo all that. I kind of just cut. And the reason why is because I really only use the flowers. I only use the flowers. I'll bring everything over in a second. Okay. And then while this is, so I'm really just going through it and kind of taking out the big leaves. I find the big leaves to be very tough. So I'm basically just using the stalks together that have the leaves, and I'll show you in a minute. I have to just put all this together, and then I'll move it out of the way so you can see. So again, you kind of just, they're already together with the flowers, and everything else I throw out. My family uses all of this, and it does look like a lot of excess that I am throwing out, but again, I don't like the leaves, so I find them to be just too tough to eat. So again, we're putting this in here, and we're going to rinse it. We're going to wash this and rinse it off. My sausage is cooking. I have it on a, I would say medium to high heat. I like the sausage well done. And as soon as it gets browned on both sides is when I will, I'll lower the temperature. Now, in the meantime, you can have your olive oil and garlic starting to heat up on the stove. And I'm going to put that on in just a second. Just trying to get this together here. So if you don't know what I'm talking about the flowers, those are the flowers. All right, let me lower this a little bit. I'm going to move this off the heat for a second. I watched my pot before, so there's some water, which is what the popping is happening. This is fresh sausage from the butcher. So can you see how it's browned on one side already? So once these brown on both sides, then I'm going to slice them into smaller slices. So just going to flip these over. I know it sounds like I have a lot of broccoli rabe, but I really don't. You'll see it's not that much. So that's why I only have 5 sausages. Okay, and just so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so again, I'm just going through this, taking the flowers, throwing them in a pot that I'm going to soak while the sausage cooks. Because you know, this is like all full of leaves and stuff. You know, I like to soak it pretty decently. There are a lot of flowers. And broccoli rabe can be finicky. And I say that because, you know, it has to really be in season. Otherwise, it may be a little bitter. So again, you see I put parchment paper on top of my butcher block so that I can easily just grab this and throw it in the garbage. Now, of course, you might be saying, well, we got to watch this to make sure that it doesn't burn. And that is very true, but it has a long way to go to cook. You know, sausage takes a good 20 to 30 minutes to cook. Alright, so I'm just making sure there's no more. And when you go and pick out broccoli rabe in the store, in the supermarket, make sure you find bunches that have a lot of flowers. You'll notice that there will be bunches that don't have a lot of flowers. And I actually bought one just to show you. So, like, it's a small little bunch. And the stems, you don't want to use. These are really thick. They're hard to eat. When you go to restaurants, they use everything. And it's very hard to eat. All right, I'm going to lower my flame a little bit. And I'm going to pull this off. Let it simmer down for a minute. The sausage has its own juice. So you can see, like, you probably can't see where I am with the camera here. They are browns on both sides. And you can see that they're all white. I'm going to let it cook this for just a few more minutes. It's on low. Just going to keep it covered. So I'm almost finished with this, with the broccoli rabe, and then I'll going to put my olive oil in my pot. Of course, you know, broccoli rabe is very nutritious. You do not have to make it with sausage. It's pretty much like an Italian dish that, you know, if you go to Italian restaurants, you'll see that broccoli rabe is usually served with sausage. But you can get broccoli rabe, you know, just as a side. And instead of making broccoli all the time, this is an alternative. And it's so delicious with Italian bread. Okay, I'm almost done with this. I'm pretty sure that's all my flowers that I have. Okay. So, let me move this over here. See, look at that. Just throw it out. I don't have to keep washing the butcher board. Okay, so this is my pot. I'm going to just soak it in some water. Get this ready. I'm going to soak it in some hot water. So I usually put a colander inside a big pot so that it can soak. The sausage smells so delicious. I like my sausage on the well done side, where I like it really brown and really crispy. Okay, so we're going to slice the sausage now so that it cooks a little bit faster, because the broccoli rabe takes about, I don't know, 7 minutes to cook. I'm still just filling up my pot. I have a big pot because I've got a lot of broccoli rabe. Okay, so I'm going to put this over here. In the meantime, I'm going to get my pot out. Can you see? Yeah, you can. Okay. And I'm going to put the heat on here, put it on medium. Okay, and I'm going to let my broccoli rabe soak for a few minutes while I get this going. I'm going to heat up my pot. I rinsed it out, so I've got some water in there, and I'm just letting the water evaporate. And then once the water evaporates, I'm going to cut my sausage. Now, of course, if you want to use a fresh garlic, by all means do. You probably know I've said a million times that I don't use a lot of fresh garlic. I use garlic powder instead. I find it to be more flavorful. It's absolutely less work because having to smash the garlic, take off the skin, the whole to-do. Whereas, just use garlic powder. So now, we're making broccoli rabe here. So, you've got to be generous on the olive oil. So, I'm going to coat the bottom. It's probably at least a cup. At least a cup's worth. Okay. Just trying to clean up in between. That's another good tip to do is that as you're cooking, clean up as you're cooking. Okay, so I've got my olive oil. Okay. I'm putting this on medium heat. I'm going to put some salt, probably a teaspoon worth of salt. Garlic powder, you've got to be generous. I'm going to add more garlic powder as it's cooking. Probably a teaspoon here to 3/4 of a tablespoon. I'm going to let this heat up for a few seconds. I'm going to check on my sausage. I'm going to pull it off the heat. Again, you don't want to get burned. It's just so easy to just take it off the heat for a second. Okay. So, these are definitely browned on both sides. And I'm basically just flipping them over. Because now I'm going to cut them. I'm just going to put that back for right now. I just want to rinse off the broccoli rabe because this is not going to take that long. And once we cut that. So right now I am just rinsing off the broccoli rabe, soaking it, giving it a really, really, really good rinse because again, there's, a lot of leaves. If you find any big leaves, just remove them, or if you want to eat them, that's fine. Okay, so my broccoli rabe is rinsed. My olive oil is hot. It's going to make a big splatter because oil and water do not go. But that's okay. Now the reason why I didn't make as big as a splash is because I preheated my pan already. Just doing a little cleanup. Just a little cleanup here. Okay. You're going to keep that on a pretty high heat, the broccoli rabe. And I'm going to cut the sausage now. As soon as I can find my knife here. Alright, so I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to slice this. Okay. And this is so fresh. The reason why I couldn't slice it before is because it would fall apart. When you've got really fresh, good sausage, you can't slice it when it's raw. So you've got to slice it when it's cooked. Okay. I'm going to cut these just down one more time. You can't slice these too thin, again, because they're fresh. I like going to the butcher to get sweet sausage. And of course, you can use any kind of sausage you want. There is tons of different types of sausages. There's sweet, there's with fennel, without fennel, there's spicy, there's sausage with broccoli rabe and cheese in it already. There's sausage with cheddar cheese and parsley. And you actually can ask your butcher, because a lot of butchers, you know, they make the sausage there, so you can ask them to put in, you know, if you want like a specific kind, like, you know, spicy with parsley and you know, in a particular type of cheese. Okay, so now those are done. I'm going to put them back on the heat here, and I'm going to put them on medium now because now they need to cook further. And again, just doing some housekeeping here while loading the dishwasher at the same time. And again, the reason is because you want to be able to, you know, not have such a big mess. I think the best thing to do is, as you're cooking, clean up. Throw everything in the dishwasher, you know, or wash in your sink as you're doing stuff, so you don't finish cooking and then you're, you know, have to clean up this whole mess. Easier to do things in between. Okay, now the broccoli rabe, as it cooks, it's going to reduce, and we're going to have to stir it. Sausage is probably going to take about 10 minutes. Okay. Oh my gosh, the broccoli rabe smells delicious. And it's going to look like there's a lot of juice, but that's perfectly okay. This really, now look, it's already, once it's absorbing all the liquids, it immediately reduces. Okay, but this is tough. It's got to cook. So now they should really coincide with one another and cook together. So we're probably going to give this about another about 7 to 10 minutes, and this should be done, and we can put it together.